Hey everyone, I just want to go over a couple more things about 2D arrays, two-dimensional arrays. From our last lesson, we have built a multiplication table using the two-dimensional array, where we have it was a integer array, a 9 by 9 integer two-dimensional array. Just so you know that the array doesn't have to be, they don't have to have the same length, the number of rows and columns. So instead of 9 by 9, you could have something like a 9 by 5, which is 9 rows and 5 columns. If I run that and you see, this is the 9 by 5. So you have 5 rows, you have 5 columns and 9 rows. I can change it to have 2 columns and 9 rows. Okay, so this is a 9 by 2 two-dimensional array. Other than that, I'm commenting this out, so I'm gonna put this in now. Here I want to show you another way you can initialize the two-dimensional array. So here I'm declaring an array, a 3 by 3 array with these numbers in it. And let me comment this line out for now. So I'm gonna print it. So here you have a 3 by 3 array with the initially it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in it. In the next line here, I'm showing you how to change an element in the array. So here I'm changing element 1, 1, which is this element right here. It's right in the middle of the array. So the 5 is going to go to 0. And there it is. So it's changing the element 1, 1 of the array to 0. Let me comment this out now. Let's see what else we have here. Here we're showing that the arrays, the number of columns in each row, they don't have to be the same. So for the first row here, I have 3 columns. The second row, I have 2 columns. And the third row, I have 4 columns. And this is a string two-dimensional array. So let's print that. And by the way, to print the string array, I have created a method down here to print the string array. So basically it's the same as the method to print the integer array. The only difference is the data type here is string, and the format I'd use a 3s instead of 3d for decimal. I'd use 3s for string. So we're here now, we're gonna print this. And there it is. So the first row has 3 columns, A, B, C. The second row has 2 columns, D, E. And the last row has 4 columns. And this is where I load them in. This is where I load the values in, F, G, H, I. This statement here, the next statement here, is just to print the whole array out. Alright, next, I want to show you a few things about filling the 2D arrays. So one way to do it is one way that you can try is to do it this way. But just so you know, this way doesn't work. So let's take a look at it. So basically we're printing the double A array. The double A array is defined up here. So this array started out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But then here, I'm using this statement to fill it up with all 0. So that's what I want to do. The purpose is to initialize the array to all 0. And then I print it out here. So as you can see, it's filling up the array with all 0, which is pretty much what I want to do. But when you go and change one element in the array, so I want to change element 0, 0 in the array to 5, which is this element. I only want to change this one element in the array to 5. And as you can see, it changed that element, the one I wanted, but it also changed the other 2 elements on the next 2 rows. So that's not what I wanted. So this way doesn't work. You cannot use this way to fill the array, because what it basically did was it made these 2 next rows the same as this row. So now you have 3 different array pointers pointing to one array location. So whatever you do to this one location, it does the same to the next 2. We can try that. We can try to change a different element. Let's try to change element number 2, 1. So 2, 1 would be 2 is down here, 1 is here. I only want to change this one element here to 3, let's say. And as you can see, it changes all 3 rows. So I only wanted to change this one, but since this and this and this are actually the same array, so they're all the same array, they're just 3 different pointers pointing to one array, and that's why when you change one, you change them all. So this way doesn't work. Filling the array this way does not work, because it's only copying the pointer reference. It doesn't create like a new copy of the array. I'm gonna comment this out. So let's look at ways to fill the array that works. One way to do it would be to do it this way. So basically I'm filling this BB array with all 0s. And that works. Just to prove it, I'm gonna copy this down here. So after I fill it, I'm gonna change one element in the BB array to 5. And you can see it only changed one element, because now all the rows are separate from one another. This one is a separate array than this one. So changing the top one does not affect the second row, does not affect the third row. So this is one way to fill the array. You can do it this way if the array is small. But what if you have like 10 rows and 10 columns? Then that could be a lot of work to type out all these numbers. So if you have a larger array, like a 10 by 10 array, you can do it this way with the nested for loops to fill the array, which we have done when we built the multiplication table in our last lesson. But in that lesson, we put in different numbers in each cell, but you can use the same logic to put all 0 in all the cells. So let me print this out and we'll take a look. Before we do that, let me comment this one now, because we don't want to confuse anyone. Let's run it. So there you have it. It's a 10 by 10 array filled with all 0. So this is a good way to do it, because even if it's 100 by 100, all you have to do is nothing. You just have to change the dimension, but I don't want to make it so large, because then it's gonna be hard to see. I'll make it 50 by 50. As you can see, it filled everything with 0. Now, if I were to do it this way, I would be sitting here for the whole day typing out 50 zeros 50 times, right? So this way is a good way to do it. Let me change it back to 10 by 10 so we can see it better. I just want to test it to verify that it's working. So I'll change an element in the array, element 0, 0 to 5. And there you have it. It changed only one element. The rest of the elements are still 0. Okay, so this is a good way to fill the array. But my favorite way is to use the for each loop. So to do the for each loop, I define it this way. So I have here still a 10 by 10 array, and I have for each row in the DD array, which is this array, I want to map it to an integer array. So I have this integer I pointing to the DD array, and then I fill the integer I array. So by doing that, since it's similar to the situation where we have above, we have two different pointers pointing to the same array location. So when I fill the I array with 0, it automatically updates the DD array, which is one row of the DD array, to 0. And let's take a look. There you have it. So it actually filled the whole array with 0. And now if we go and change some elements in this array, just to prove that they're all not just copies of one another, but they're all not the same array, but they're actually different copies of the array, different array altogether. So you see I changed element 0, 0 to 5. It only changed that element, and I changed element 9, 9 to 9. It only changed that one element. The rest of the elements are still 0, and that's the way we want it. We don't want to have just one array and have 10 different pointers pointing to it.